Good evening. I would like to talk about solve linear inequalities using the subtraction and addition properties of inequality. First of all, let's understand how to graph the solution of the inequalities on the number line. For example, if we have an inequality which is x greater than or equal to 2, so this means that any value for this variable which is greater than 2 and 2 is part of the solution for this inequality. So we draw a shaded arrow starting from number 2 to the direction of the plus infinity. As you see here, we draw a closed circle on the 2 in order to indicate that 2 is part of the solution of this inequality. We can simply express the solution as an interval notation. So we say that any value for the variable starting from 2 till the positive of infinity is part of the solution. See that we write the bracket beside the number 2 so that to indicate that 2 is also part of the solution. If we have an inequality which is x greater than 2, so the solution is simply any value of x which is greater than 2 starting from 2 up to the plus infinity. So because the number 2 is not part of the solution, we draw an open circuit around it. So simply we can express the solution as an interval notation. So we say that the interval notation is simply from 2 till the positive infinity in the right direction. See that number 2 here is not part of the solution, so we draw a parenthesis. If we have this inequality which is x less than 2, so we say that any value of x which is less than 2 is part of a solution for this inequality. See that because x is equal to is not part of the solution, so we draw an open circle around number 2. Because the inequality sign is less, so the direction of the solution arrow is oriented to the left side. We can simply express the solution by an interval. So we say that the interval from minus infinity till 2 are the solution for this inequality. See that number 2 is not part of the solution. If we have an inequality which is x less than or equal to 2, now number 2 is part of the solution. So we draw a bracket beside number 2 so that number 2 is part of the solution. Let's talk about subtraction properties of inequality. If we have an inequality which is a less than b, so if we subtract c from the left side of the inequality, so we should subtract the same value from the right side of the inequality and see that the inequality sign stays the same. Again, if a is greater than b, if we subtract c from the left side, so we should subtract the same value, which is c, from the right side, and the inequality stays the same. So this is the subtraction property of inequality. Let's talk about the addition property of inequality. If we have inequality which is a less than b, if we add c to the left side of the inequality, so we should add the same value at the right side of the inequality, and the inequality sign stays the same. The same as if a is greater than b, then a plus c is greater than b plus c. Let's apply these two properties in order to solve this inequality. So we have an inequality which is x minus 25 is less than 12. So as you see here, the left side of the inequality contains the variable and contains a constant which is minus 25, and the right side we have only a constant which is the 12. So simply we can keep the variable x alone at the left side of the inequality by adding 25 to both sides of the inequality. So add 25 to both sides of the inequality. So the left side of the inequality will be x minus 25 plus 25, and the right side of the inequality will be 12 plus 25. Now we can simply simplify. For the left side, we have only x, and for the right side, we have the sum of 12 and 25, which is 37. So the solution is x less than 37. So in order to understand the solution, we say that any value of the variable x which is less than 37 is part of the solution of this inequality. See that number 37 is not part of the solution. So now we can simply express the solution in interval notation. So we say that the interval from minus infinity till 37 are all solutions for this inequality. See that 37 is not part of the solution. We can now graph the solution on the number line. So because the inequality is less than, so the solution arrow is oriented to the left direction, starting from the 37 toward the minus infinity. See that we draw an open circle around number 37 because it is not part of the solution. Let's solve this inequality. M plus 3/4 is greater than 7/10. So this is the inequality. So as you see here, we have the variable m at the left side, and at the right side of the inequality we have a constant number. So simply we can keep the variable m alone at the left side by subtracting 3/4 from both sides of the inequality. So the left side of the inequality becomes m plus 3/4 minus 3/4, and the right side becomes 7/10 minus 3/4. Now we can simplify. See that the left side of the inequality we have only m, and for the right side we have a difference of two fractions with different denominator. See that the denominators are 10 and 4. So we need to make the denominators to be common. So we find the least common multiple for the 10 and 4, and the least common multiple for 10 and 4 is 20. So we need to convert the denominators to be 20. So the left side is only m. For the first fraction, multiply both denominator and numerator by 2, and for the second fraction multiply by 5. So now we can simplify. So m is greater than or equal to 14 divided by 20 minus 15 divided by 20. See, now we have two fractions with the same denominator. So simply we can compute for the difference. So we say that the solution to the part side of the inequality is 14 minus 15, which is minus 1, and the denominator is 20. So this is the solutions for this inequality. So we say that any value of the variable m, which is greater than minus 1 over 20, is part of the solution, included the number minus 1 over 20. So simply we can express the solution in an interval notation. So we say that the interval from minus 1 over 20 till plus infinity are the solutions for the inequality in the above. See that the number or the fraction minus 1 divided by 20 is part of the solution. So we draw this bracket. Now we can simply graph the solution on the number line. So because the inequality is greater than or equal, so the solution arrow is oriented to the right side, starting from minus 1 over 20 toward the positive infinity. See that we draw a closed circle around the number or the fraction minus 1 divided by 20 in order to indicate that this number is part of the solution. That's all about solving inequality using the addition and the subtraction property. Thanks a lot for your watching. Goodbye.